Can we tell those at home? I sent the link like as soon as I sort of was getting flamed for not sending the link.
That's an all-timer. That's all time.
In fairness to Billy, he sent it over after he got in trouble for not sending it over.
It's so funny.
That's Mount Rushmore of Billy.
Welcome back to Macrodosing. It's Tuesday. It's February 20th, Nanodose time, and it's brought to you by the Rent app. Today we've got something truly special for all the renters and landlords out there paying rent. It's something we all have to do. Let's be honest, it can sometimes be a bit of a hassle. I actually had a landlord that I had to write a check to, a physical check, and then I had to walk it to his apartment and then drop it in his mailbox every month.
That sounds like the 1900s.
It was awful. It was awful. But what if there was a way to make it all easier, Big T? More straightforward?
I think there is.
I think there is. You can even make it more beneficial for your financial future. Introducing the Rent app, the ultimate tool of renters everywhere. Rent app takes the hassle out of paying rent by depositing your payments directly into your landlord's bank account. No more trips to the ATM, no more mailing checks, and no more managing balances in multiple apps. Just simple, direct transactions that make life easier for both you and your landlord. There are no fees, no weekly limits. That's right, Rent app is completely free for you to use. No need for your landlord to create an account. It's completely free for them too. Rent app is all about helping you build a brighter financial future, so you can optionally report your on-time rent payments to the 3 major credit bureaus, and Rent app brings you one step closer to home ownership and helps boost your credit score. So why wait? Head to the App Store, download the Rent app today, and follow Rent app at Rent app on Instagram and on Twitter. For our listeners, we have an exclusive deal. Go to rent.app/barstool to get $50 cash back on your first rent payment. How about that? If you're a landlord, go to rent.app/landlord to get paid on time and without hassle. But if you're a renter, go to rent.app/barstool and you get $50 back on your first rent payment. Yeah, this landlord that I had sucked, and I had to drop the check in his mailbox every month, and then he updated it on like a pen and paper ledger. And so I moved out, and then he tried getting in touch with me. I didn't return one of his calls. He's like, I don't need to get back in touch with this guy. He's my former landlord. And he was like, now I see why you're ducking my calls. You didn't pay your last month rent. Well, congratulations. You pulled one over on me. Hope you're happy. And then I was like, wait a second. And I went back through my bank statements. I was like, no, dude, I paid you. And I called him back, and he had to go to his ledger and look. He's like, I guess I miswrote this down in my ledger. I'm like, yeah, I guess you did, bro. I guess you did.
You owned him.
I did own him. That was a 20.
Fumbled that.
What's up?
Big T fumbled that.
I couldn't decide if I was saying him or you owned his ass, and so I stopped at the HI.
Yeah, you owned him.
You owned it.
Yeah, this bitch. It was paying $2,700 a month for a 375 square foot apartment in New York. This dude tried to accuse me of stealing from him. He was stealing from me the whole time.
Little commie PFT. Let's go, baby.
You gotta make sure to tip your landlord.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Yeah, you guys tip your landlord at Christmas time?
Yeah, like, come on. He's probably pissed you never tipped him.
That's true. That's probably true.
Wait, where's that trope from?
You're supposed to tip your landlord. He throws the iPad around on you at the end of the year.
Yeah, spins it around. That's that Mamba mentality. I like it. I pay extra in rent because it makes me have to grind harder.
I mean, if you're late on your rent, your landlord might not be able to pay his mortgage. So just remember that.
That's trickle down economics right there, 101. So yeah, we are back. I'm back in studio. I missed you guys. Big T, I missed you.
Thanks.
Arian, I missed you.
I miss you all the time, Eric.
Mad Dog McKinsey, I missed you guys.
Missed you.
So I'm excited to be back.
Damn.
I'm pumped to be back. Billy, let's just start out by recapping the last week's events here, because I figure we need to discuss this and get it out of the way. Maybe you can refresh my memory of what the assignment was for you last week.
Billy never knows the assignment.
So basically, it was one of those things where if you were on the Zoom, I would have been like, oh yeah, I got to send PFT this. And then I would have sent you the link to all the footage I uploaded. But then when you weren't there, I had my cognitive dissonance.
Your fault. You didn't get the shit.
Wait,
Yeah.
so because I wasn't there. All right, but again, let's walk back. Let's take one step backwards. What was the original assignment?
To get the raw footage available to send to you guys.
No, it was to actually send it, to physically send it, to not to get it available to then send. Can we agree on that?
I agree. I fucked up on it. I like in my mind I had gotten it to the 1 yard line, and I literally just the final yard always gets me.
Is that a
Like
touchdown?
I got 10 gigabytes of footage off a GoPro onto my PC. It had been cut up in various different ways. I then uploaded it to Google Drive, and then I was like, oh, I wonder how PFT wants to deal with this, because I know what you were doing with the footage. So I was like, if you're sending it to someone else, because I didn't think you'd be going through hours of pickup footage to like do something with it. So I was like, well, maybe he'll want a Dropbox link. And I never meant to not give it to you. It just was tardy.
It's the way you explain things for me, fam. You try to soften the blow by, I was trying to make it palatable for you. I was trying to do it for you, so I went out of my way to so that you didn't have to go through all your busy man, PFT. You didn't have to go through all of that stuff, and I was taking time out of my day, which is no problem, but to do it for you. And you know what? Yeah, I did drop the ball because of all that extensive extra labor I went through for you.
Well,
So-
can we tell those at home? I sent the link like as soon as I sort of was getting flamed for not sending the link.
That's an all-timer. That's all-time.
In fairness to Billy, he sent it over after he got in trouble for not sending it over.
Well, the thing was,
That's Mount Rushmore of Billy.
This used to I don't know what it is, but like this used to happen to me in school. I would do the whole assignment.
I would have never guessed.
I would literally do the whole assignment, but then I would just forget to hand it in the next day.
Mm-hmm. So, Billy, what do you think your punishment should be?
Let's first. It was look. It's hard for me to express that I meant to do the right thing, but I just wasn't able to execute it.
By execute, you mean
But
sending one link?
I didn't send one link, and the thing is, we were starting the show, and I like had it already, and I was going to send it to you. I didn't know what your plan was for content wise.
I don't
Like,
think
what
that
are
really
you going to
mattered.
do with this footage?
Well, you had a timed deadline,
Yeah.
and we started the show after that, so it's not like you were gonna see PFT on the show and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna send it now." Like you could have done it hours and hours.
I also
and days
forgot that
before
PFT wasn't going to be there.
But it,
Right, so that doesn't matter.
but it didn't matter.
I know I didn't send it at the right time. That's on me. I didn't know where to take it. Kind of like I don't know.
It's the extra stuff. It's just you didn't send it. It is what it is.
I did 99%, and I'm sorry I didn't do the 1%. But the thing is,
Well, no, that was the
The
entire part.
1% was the 100%.
Yeah, that's the entire
of the
part.
thing.
So again, I say again, what do you think your punishment should be, Billy?
well, it should definitely be 1%. Representative of the 1% I did not complete.
It should be 1% of what the initial punishment was going to be.
Yes.
Because you did 99 in your head, you did 99% of the entire assignment.
Yes.
Okay, Big T right now is I think going to have a migraine.
No, it's just funny. It's just funny.
All right, so your punishment was going to be an indefinite suspension for macrodosing.
Well,
So
remember,
what is 1% of indefinite?
I know. This is where, but if you go back to the tape, there was going to be an appeal once the tape was delivered.
Okay.
So the tape has been delivered.
Was
I would
there
like
going
to
be an appeal?
I think
Look,
Well,
said-
here's the appeal.
you said subject to the footage being sent to you, you would reconsider the
Right. This is
like
on tape.
based on the circumstances of the footage being sent.
It
to
sounds
you.
like there's some extenuating circumstances involved,
It's the 1%.
and that's that Billy just didn't send it.
right.
That is extenuating. I'll agree with that.
Well, no, I mean, I sent it once because like in my mind, I was like, I don't know the timing of it. Look, what do you want to do with this footage? That's what I'm sort of asking.
But that part doesn't really matter. It's more about just you being able to follow a simple instruction. I don't ask you for a lot, Billy. We can agree on that.
I know. I'm sorry. But remember, I did text you, hey, do you want to through Dropbox? I was looking for some guidance there.
Again, that was after the deadline, but yes, you did do that.
Also, you were sassy on Twitter. God, lest we forget.
That
Well,
was
no, I was
sassy.
a little angry. Because I was like, hey, I texted you about how to get you the footage, and now you're putting me on blast on Twitter.
After the deadline, yeah. Once again, after the deadline,
it was 2 hours because we were doing the show.
Billy
so
was
I didn't
so
have time
close to
to
apologize.
You had 2 days.
If we rewind the tape like 45 seconds, Billy was in the middle of giving the best apology he's ever given, and then he just stopped.
No, because I just got angry because I remember the moment where I was like, well, I'm trying to get you the footage, but you're putting me on blast.
So
It's
Billy,
fine.
Billy, there's probably several thousand listeners out there right now, at least, probably more than that, that are begging me to suspend you right now, that are going to come after me if I don't suspend you indefinitely from the show. I just want you to know that. I'm willing to hear your appeal and present an alternate punishment.
I would like to appeal.
Okay, I will hear your appeal right now. We will all hear your appeal.
This is the jury.
This is the Supreme Court.
District court. It's gotta
I'm
go there
appealing because I didn't know where exactly to. Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. I'm actually okay with that appeal.
first. I think that was better than where it was going.
Yeah, I'm okay with that appeal. That's a little bit of progress. So does anybody else have any ideas? I have an idea.
I just what you want to do with the actual footage because I will do it for you.
Okay, all right, hang on. Does anybody else have any other ideas?
I'm gonna let you handle this one, boss.
I don't.
I'd like to hear your idea, and then I'll let you know if I have any.
Okay, I would like for Billy to cut together the ultimate low light tape. Nothing but low lights and him getting owned in basketball from that footage. And I would like to put that out on all platforms, and I'll make sure that the main account puts it out too. And we'll get that out. And yeah, if you can edit together like a minimum 3-minute long low light tape of you playing basketball, I would like to educate and inform the masses on your basketball prowess.
I'd potentially
that's
have
fair.
one addendum to that.
Okay.
I don't know if this is possible if we have the jurisdiction. I would also maybe, well, we do because Billy would have to be the one to do it. Billy asks to be removed from the group chat again. That's prompted this entire thing.
No, you can't do this. No. That is
Oh, I like that.
no. That is not that.
Well, now you know it's a good punishment.
Yeah.
No. I. No,
Or
you
this-
can't take.
or-
You can't
how about-
take these things from me.
Well, how about this? How about this
Come
one?
and take it.
My group chat with the fellas.
text the group chat and then ask him, I want you guys to give your honest assessment of me as a basketball player. How do you feel like I am as a basketball player?
Wait, can I
All right,
add,
let me-
can I
But-
possibly add
but-
another?
Yeah,
addendum?
sure.
Can Billy stop posting "fuck it Billy football" highlights on TikTok that he makes himself?
Yeah, okay, that's good. So
Wait,
you have to send the low light tape to your friends, and then you have to cut together 3 minutes for us to promote as we choose.
Yep.
And then also you are banned from posting basketball highlights, with the exception of the low light tape.
Yeah.
You're
Wait.
banned from posting those on your accounts for the next 3 months.
Quick question. One, I don't think I'd be able to put together 3 minutes of lowlights.
I'm not.
There's
man,
definitely
that ain't
lowlights.
that bad.
There's definitely lowlights, but there's not 3 minutes.
Go
We
play
have to
again.
have. Is it go play again?
No.
You got to play till you can compile a 3-minute
that.
tape
I like
I'm
that.
talking
I like
about
of you sucking.
Listen, you missing shots, you getting scored on, you going too hard, knocking the ball out of bounds, you getting mad. I'm pretty sure you can find 3 minutes in how many hours?
I can't. I can find a minute max.
Yeah, wasn't the thing that this file was so large you couldn't figure out where to send it?
Well, no, because a lot of the file is the in between games when we're shooting, when people are shooting for spots.
I need all your misses with those.
No, because I was on the winning team a lot, so I didn't have to shoot.
Okay. Talk that shit.
So, no, look, can I appeal the appeal? I was always going to put
You
out.
didn't
a
even
low light
appeal the
tape.
original one.
No, I'm appealing the appeal. I think I should be allowed to put out whatever content I want. It's a free country. That's freedom of speech that you're.
Not in my
Trying
world.
on.
Not in my world.
Definitely not freedom of speech.
I mean,
It is freedom of speech.
the contract you have with your employer already prohibits you from all sorts of content, so that's untrue.
Tweet the M bomb if it's freedom of speech. Right now, tweet it, Mr. Freedom of Speech.
I don't want to do that.
Why? It's a free country.
It's okay. Moving on. I'm not going to do that. Look, but I was always going to cut up the low light tape. I said I was going to do all these things. I just think,
I'm sure that there's enough footage if you show the same tenacity that you showed when you were getting the security cam footage in your game against Arian. I'm sure you can find all sorts of low lights.
okay.
There's a
What
bunch
about
of lowlights in
what
that
about?
game. There's a bunch of
Wait.
lowlights in that game. There's a bunch of lowlights in the game when you play with me and Big T. There's a bunch in
Can I
there.
include those? Can I use those? And can
Yeah.
I do slow motion replays of some of the lowest lights?
Yeah, but it has to be 3 minutes. And I want
Okay.
I want at least a minute of brand new footage from this big file.
I'd
And
say 2.
the audio
Wait,
it has
from
to
the
be,
footage I have.
put the audio of a Taylor Swift song in the background.
We
Okay.
can
No,
come up with
because
something better than
that-
Taylor Swift.
That'll get DMCA.
Yeah,
We
that's
won't be able to post
copyright.
that. Taylor Swift will have Billy
Okay.
executed.
I'm gonna give the audio for it then. I'm gonna be like
Yes.
some circus. Like I got you.
Great.
Okay, so minimum 3 minutes. I'd like to see at least 1 minute of new footage, and that's not including like rewind, slow motion, things like that. I'm talking brand new.
The 1
footage.
minute of new footage, that's from the footage I sent you, correct? Or you
Yes.
want me to go out and film more footage?
Yes, from the footage that you sent me.
Okay.
At least 1 minute from there, and then a total of 3 minutes. You can have it in your men's league games. You can have it be from when Arian put the ball between your legs. You can have it be from Big T getting wet in your face. Whatever it is.
That did not happen. Pause.
Resume. I think that it did happen. I recall the game. I remember you guys losing to Big T and Arian. So I'm sure you can find something in there.
You did
All right.
nothing in that game, literally. So
Okay, we can. I want to
Missing
almost find the
shots.
full game tape of that. I
You
just
can?
want
Oh, here we go,
how
new
come-
mission.
How come PFT posts like his good golf clips and not all his golf clips, and suddenly me
This is your
posting my
fault.
good basketball
man's-
clips
I
is
literally-
just.
my man's is a walking whataboutism.
I literally
Well,
posted
I'm just
every,
saying, it's
every
like,
single
I
clip
wanna
of
put
me
out
swinging a
my
golf
own
club
in-
I posted this weekend.
Congratulations
wanna
by
post
hitting
my
the
own-
green on 17, by the way, brother.
Thank you, Aaron. I felt so proud about that. It was nerve-wracking stepping up to 17 because you got the stadium. Like the stadium was built,
Yeah.
all the stands were there. They weren't filled, obviously, but it was very nerve-wracking. They had us mic'd up. I think Sawgrass or the PGA Tour is going to put out their own footage of us hitting those shots. But yeah, that was a nerve-wracking tee shot. But I've been thinking all day long. I was like, what club am I going to hit? So I figured out. when I
What was the
on
yardage? What club did you use?
Okay, so the yardage I think was like 133 to the pin,
Word?
I believe. Yeah.
No, it couldn't have been.
Yeah.
Because I think theirs is like 117, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
The pros.
No, it's longer than that. I promise you. So depending on where exactly the tee was set up and the pin was, I think it was 131, 132 to the pin. And then it was like 116 to the green, I think. But I hit pitching wedge and just grooved it. Hit like the best shot of my day. And then it just
Okay, so-
landed dead center of the green.
Theirs is 137.
Yeah.
So you went pitcher wedge from 130?
Yeah, pitching wedge from 130, about
Nice.
hole high, came down soft, just stopped. And then Chris Berman had told me before I went out there, he's like, if you hit on the green, that's a 2, pick it up. It's good.
That's
So
crazy.
I walked out there, picked it up.
How far was it from the
Tiger
pin?
hit one of the greatest putts of all time, and his was a 2.
I know.
His shit was like 50 feet away.
Yeah. I think the putt was like 15, 17 feet.
Oh, I thought you were closer than that. You didn't putt it?
For the record, I did not putt it, but I may have just stepped up there and taken a swing, just for fun, just to see what would have happened.
So
And
it was a
it
2
didn't
though.
go in.
It was I picked it up and I counted as a 2, and they're like, just put it down and try to putt it, and I was like, okay, but it's a 2.
How far was the second?
Wait.
How far was the putt away? Would you have parred it?
I would have putted, yeah. Yeah, I got it. I think like 2 feet.
Would you not rather have a real par?
No, that's a real birdie. Chris Berman told me it's a 2. Pick it up. It's good.
That's actually wild.
Far be it
Wait,
from
you
me
could
to
just-
disobey the swam.
Wait, you can just like say you don't have to finish out the hole?
No, Billy. This is whatever this is. This is not a thing.
Yeah, Chris Berman told
Oh.
me pick it up. It's a 2.
Shout out to what is it? The Schwam.
The Schwam, yeah, the greatest of all time, Boomer. It
He's
says
up
on my bag tag right now. They engraved it. I got a 2 on 17. I was saying it all day. Chaps hit the most funny shot though. I don't know. I think he put his clip out too. He hit like an attack wedge, which is one below a pitching wedge, and it bounced on the wood like around the green and skied it over the green, over the water behind the green, and landed on the lawn in the back.
Oh, so
he
you had
didn't
another
hit the
shot?
water there. Yeah, it was a great shot. But yeah, it was a shout out to the PGA Tour and the players and Sawgrass. It's an awesome course, but it spoiled
That's-
golf for me.
It's one of it's one of those courses where I haven't played yet because I want to get a little better. I want to be able to shoot like a real score in it. But it's like one of the most beautiful courses. The green
Mhm.
it's just gorgeous course. Gorgeous
Water
course.
everywhere. Every single hole has water on it, except maybe there might be one par 3 that doesn't. But besides that, it's just all water. A lot of hills.
They call it the unofficial fifth major.
It's catching
Yeah.
today.
You said what?
I said it's catching today. Catching on the stumbling on words.
Mouth stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you.
What? You did the exact same thing.
Feeling good today. I'm gonna give it to you.
You did the same thing.
I didn't.
I wasn't. I wasn't.
I
what?
said yeah. I give it to you. I give it to you. Same thing.
Okay.
both
I
ways.
thought it was the exact same thing.
I
Goes
give
both
it to you.
ways.
I give it to you.
There's a lot of double standards.
Yeah, a
You
lot of
couldn't
double
wait.
standards out there.
You couldn't wait.
Nate, what's another double standard, Billy?
Yeah, just off the top of your head.
Hmm.
I can't say the N word.
Basically, no. Who would want to say that?
A bunch of people.
Politicians be able to insider trade.
Majority of people.
You did put a
That's
song
facts.
with it in your basketball highlight video. Didn't edit it out.
It's a little hard.
Did?
I gotta feel a little something though. Make sure you feel a little something. I feel you though. It's one of my favorite words.
Wait,
What are your 5
is
favorite
that
words?
not okay?
That's fine, bro. Nobody cares. Hey, I wanted to get y'all opinion on this, dog. But you're right about that double standard. Did y'all see my tweet about the Sora AI?
I did
Yeah.
not. I'll look it
Yeah.
up.
Okay. You haven't you didn't see it, PFT?
I'm gonna look it up. I was off the grid for a while.
Okay. I'm just gonna send it to the group. Maddie, Mac, have y'all seen it? Did y'all see it?
Yep.
Okay. While PFT's looking that up. This is so it's not out. There's something called OpenAI Sora,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the new AI, right? It's like one of the best AI out. And it is insane. So Mac, while we talking about this, I'm gonna send a video and just like play it on the two, whatever the case may be. It is one of the most realistic looking shits I have ever seen in my. It is unreal where it's at right now. It's so real that they haven't released it for public use yet. They gave it to like artists, filmmakers, and I think like other AI designers so that they can start to create safeguards around it because of how realistic it looks. I cannot like there are some shots I cannot distinguish from reality. It looks like just a regular 4K camera. It is insane, dog.
I'm watching this right now. It's crazy.
It's scary, dog. Like, so part of me is like, yo, shut this shit down. This is gonna be horrible. But part of me is like, man, where is this about to go? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is 2024, 2034. Where we're going to be with AI is going to, we're gonna have to sit down as humanity and really talk about what we're doing and where we're gonna go with this. Because if you're looking at this footage now, and your jaw's not on the floor, I'm you're better than me because this is just different.
I kind of go back to my old take of like shut the entire thing down. Like we don't want this.
It's
We don't want this.
insane.
We don't want the implications of what's coming along with this. If it's going to be this realistic and you can just design whatever you want on there and have people think that it's real, I think the bad outweighs the good.
Well, the thing is, you can use the same technology to indicate whether something is AI. So it comes with its own arms race.
In what way?
And you can kind
I
of
don't know
tell
nothing
some of
about
the stuff's AI, just like there are the certain little like tells, be it the hands, be it you know, chair legs are one things that they mess up. Like there
Look
are
at
tells.
look
it's gonna
at
get-
look at the Asian lady walking in like a
Tokyo.
like a Times Square or whatever. That is damn near flawless. But I'm not necessarily worried about that video, Billy, right? That's just like, holy shit, the exponential jump from the AI I've seen has been a year or two. I'm concerned about in 10 years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is the worst that's ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here. So in 10 years, dog, it's going to be indistinguishable from reality. They're going to make it indistinguishable.
You know what I
And
want to
that's
see?
what scares me.
I want to see them put together like a championship DVD of the Washington Commanders winning the Super Bowl, and just so I can like live in a fantasy world where I'm like, yeah, that I can see that Sam
But
Howell Super Bowl MVP.
But think about it, dog. Like you could like fuck around, generate an entire simulated season. You could watch the whole season
Yeah,
in like 10 years.
you could do AI videos of games before they happen and get your preview ready and figure out which side to bet on.
Jesus.
I mean,
yeah.
You could
Responsibly,
ends
DraftKings
up-
partner, DK
Is
partner.
it responsible?
far enough down the line, you're going to be able to simulate an entire world using AI to generate it all.
Maybe
And
we're
that's-
already in that world, Billy.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, shit. Wouldn't that be Inception if we're the simulation and we created the simulation and then
Yeah.
that creates the simulation? You fuck around.
statistically, we're probably not the OG.
Damn, dog. That's actually wild to think about. What if we are?
This is some
We are
some
the OG.
freaky shit.
That makes the first simulation.
No, I'm just saying, what if we are a simulation? We
If
were
you found out this
simulation-
was a simulation, what would you do? Like, we are in a simulation. We can't escape. There's no, like, we're just in it. We're sort of not holograms, but AI projections. What would you do?
I want to see all my stats. I want to
I
dive
would like to.
into the
I would
data.
like- Yeah, I would like to see my highlight film. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back to some of the funny shit I did. I want to watch. I want to watch what I've done. Let me see that. And
What do you
some of
think
the
you'd be in the
lowlights, too.
top 1% of the world? Like,
Football.
compared to everybody else existing, what stat do you think you're number one in or close to?
Yeah, I'd put Arian probably in rushing yards,
Yeah.
carries, just carries in general, probably top like 1% of 1%.
Yeah, I took a lot of those. No, but you know, I think if I, and this is honest though, this is dead ass. If I think if an alien or whoever is simulating us and they look back at my life, I've told a lot of lies, I've done a lot of shit I regret, but at the end of the day, I've never intentionally tried to fuck anybody over. Like in all honesty, I've never. So when they pull my code or whatever, they were like, you know what, that was a good little code we had right there. He was actually a good dude that we created.
Dude.
I'm proud of that one. I'm staying on that one.
There's some linebacker that you duked out of his shoes who, like, that counts.
Is what it is. I worked harder.
See? You fucked him over.
Yeah,
There
Arian's
is-
coder is going to get a raise.
There is one dude, and I don't know this man, and I don't need no funk with him. But if you look at the Houston Texans' first playoff game, I think there was a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. I think I got him cut. My last run of that game had like 160 yards. It wasn't no big thing. But the last run of that game was like a 40-yard touchdown, 45. Like, I'm on the sidelines and I push him and I stiff arm him. It turned him around and then I threw him on the ground, and I went to score. It was bad, and people was telling me like, "Yo, you got him cut. Like, you got cut because of that." I don't know if that's the truth though.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the truth.
I mean, you
I
didn't
don't
try
The only
to,
way
you
he
weren't-
could fuck someone over.
You weren't
is
trying to
within-
get him cut.
No, I was trying to do my thing. I was trying to score.
Was his name Chris Crocker? Was he on the Bengals?
I think number 42, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this. Okay, stiff armed him, and then he turns around, and then you just run him over. Yeah, that was a bad tackling attempt on his part.
It was not a good one for sure. I hope
And
he's
then
doing
there's
well.
Wade
though. I
Phillips
want no
celebrating the
fun.
touchdown, clapping it up.
Wade Phillips. I hope I do Wade doing. He was always cool. Man.
Wade's doing good. He coaches, I think, in the USFL now, or UFL, whatever that thing's going to be called.
Okay.
He was the coach of the Roughnecks in the XFL last year, and Florio points to him as being case in point of ageism in the NFL, where old coaches can't get hired anymore because you had Pete Carroll, didn't get an interview. Belichick only got one interview. Wade Phillips would still love to coach in the NFL, hasn't been asked back for an interview for a defensive
Wait, time
coordinator
out.
position.
Belichick couldn't get an interview.
He got one interview.
He wants to coach again?
I guess so. I mean, we don't really know what's happening behind the scenes. Like maybe he didn't want some of the jobs. I don't know. Maybe the front offices were too messy and he didn't want to get involved with that. But yeah, he only interviewed with the Falcons.
Damn, Big T. How do you feel about that?
I'll reserve my thoughts.
Got you.
You can
Did
you
he
can
not
take from
want
that
to
what you will.
interview with certain people?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you're Belichick, you probably didn't want to jump in. You probably didn't want to be a Carolina Panther, right?
I wouldn't know.
But yeah, we don't know. So yeah, Wade has said that he's not asked to coach in the NFL anymore because he's too old.
Damn.
I got a question. This is mostly for Billy because it's some bro science that I need you to dive into for me. I'm sure you're familiar with this. But the new hot trend in fitness and nutrition, especially on like TikTok, Instagram, is colostrum. What do you know about colostrum, Billy? Because from what I understand, it's like the most nutrient dense version of breast milk possible. That new mothers they give out colostrum instead of pure milk for like the first time that they lactate, and apparently it's super good for you, and everybody's using it. But it's just like the best breast milk that you could ever have for your body. And so people are now taking colostrum as a supplement.
Yeah. So colostrum, as you said, it's one of the reasons why bodybuilders used to drink breast milk, because even in breast milk so colostrum, from what I understand, like the first 4 days after giving birth, it's all colostrum. And then it turns into breast milk after that. And then it stays in the breast milk in trace amounts, like it's not all pure colostrum. And that's what bodybuilders have been trying to get and drink to get jacked. But basically it's supposed to have a lot of rejuvenation effects, increase IGF and growth markers. And it's basically, it's sort of similar to a lot of these high nutrient dense, sort of stuff like beef liver. It's supposed to be like one of those and have those benefits.
Okay,
So it's supposed to be great for your skin, great for not muscle building per se, but like maintenance and recovery.
Am I right to think that everybody that takes colostrum is taking the best form of nutrition from a newborn baby? Like that's all nutrition that could be going to a baby.
But mostly beef colostrum is what they take.
Okay, so it's not human colostrum.
Yeah, let me look into. It's not human, but human's the good stuff.
Milking farms.
Yeah. There could be people that get their wives pregnant or just girls pregnant in general just to harvest them for colostrum. Does that happen, Billy?
There are people who will buy breast milk and human colostrum like on bodybuilding forum. They like had to shut one down, but like you can find it online. Don't ask me why I know that.
Mad Dog, I heard you recognize colostrum.
Yeah, it's like a big TikTok thing now. Like all of the girls on TikTok take colostrum. There's like a brand that sells colostrum, I guess, and it's like deemed, TikTok has like, food trends or whatever, and it's the new supplement that all of the girls on TikTok take, and they're like, this has helped me so much with yada, yada, yada. And then like some dietitian came on there and was like, you don't need colostrum because you're not a baby. Like,
That's a good point.
like you don't need to be taking colostrum. You had colostrum when you were an infant and were having breast milk. Like you don't need
Yeah.
that anymore.
Yeah, but IGF, everyone needs IGF,
What's
insulin
IGF?
growth factor. That's like great stuff. Like, I just jumped in 34-degree water to try to increase my IGF. One. And like cultures for centuries have been using cow colostrum. I think it's pretty big in India and in like Eastern Europe. They have like cheeses they make out of cow colostrum. It's also really great for your immune system because
That's what it says.
it's like they actually are using it to develop like vaccines because they inject cattle with the certain pathogen that they're trying to develop resistance to. And then in the colostrum of the cattle, they have like, that's how mothers pass down a lot of their antibodies to their children, to stuff that they have been exposed to. And then they collect them in the cattle colostrum.
But it feels
So
like
there's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
it feels like one of those things where it's like, yeah, it helps your immune system because again, when you're usually taking it or having this supplement, or I don't even know what it would be, like a nutrient, you're like a baby.
Yeah.
And so like on the colostrum that all of the TikTok girls are using, it has like key benefits. It's a lot of maybe not necessarily solid proof. Ignite metabolism,
Yeah.
fortify gut health, enhance skin radiance, activate hair growth. Like it's a lot of like, I don't know.
So I'm looking right now. I found single donor human colostrum breast milk, 25 milliliters. So 25 milliliters. What would that? How can you like picture that?
That's a quarter
That's
of a bottle
2.5.
of
Yeah.
travel shampoo.
Okay, a quarter of a bottle of travel shampoo. How much do you think that costs?
$50.
No, it's gotta be like 200, 300.
If it's $200, I'm gonna flip.
Get ready to flip, Big T. I want to see that. It's $2,146.
That's not real.
Jeez.
That's
25
not
milliliters.
real.
Single
That's
donor.
insane.
It's single
That's
donor
not
though.
real.
That's single donor, yeah.
Single
What's
donor,
single
way better.
donor mean? Like just
Single donor means
Wouldn't you want multiple donor?
wait, why does
no,
it
no,
matter?
multiple. This is non-pasteurized. This is the good stuff.
But if it's multiple donor, then it would be. Wouldn't you get like all the benefits of different genetic colostrums?
I don't know.
I'm seeing
mean,
120 servings for $110.
I'm looking at 250 milliliter for colostrum, or excuse me, 25
25.
milliliter. I don't know what a serving is either. I would imagine it would be pretty tiny,
Not that though.
like baby
This
size.
this is a powder.
Oh yeah, this is liquid.
It says 120 powder servings.
This is liquid stuff.
Okay,
right
but that's
here.
obviously the anomaly. That's still an insane price for whatever this is, but I mean that's crazy.
This is the gold standard of it. Yeah.
Right.
We also recommend. Let's see what they also recommend here. You can buy single donor human whole blood.
Where
that
what
legal?
website
Where
are
where
you on?
what website are you on?
I don't want to. I don't know anything about this website, so I don't want to give them any publicity, just in case they're full of shit.
Well, bleep it, but let me hear it.
You can get a unit of single donor human whole blood for $675.
Don't tell Billy where you're looking.
Yeah, Billy, I feel like you're going to spend so much money on this website. I'm
Well,
saving your
let me just
financial
see it.
future
Is it-
right now.
Oh no. Oh, it's. Is it like a research supply?
Yeah, it is. And in the description of the blood, I love this. Single donor human whole blood from blank, blank, blank is collected from individual donors in an FDA-approved collection center. Whole blood must be held after draw for FDA-required viral testing. Due to unexpected cost implications as a result of the ongoing pandemic, this price has been increased. The cost of human blood went up because of the pandemic. People raise rates on shit. They stop offering services, and they're like, because of the pandemic. Like I was in
Supply
No,
chain.
there was a blood shortage during the pandemic.
Yeah, but I was in a hotel on Wednesday, and they didn't have a mini bar, and they didn't have the mini bar because of the pandemic. That was the explanation.
How long is that going to be? Just forever?
Forever, yeah. You can
It's
do that
just
forever.
because of the pandemic.
Also, you can't put dogs. You can't take dogs on planes and put them underneath the like with the checked baggage anymore because of the
because of
pandemic.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, companies across America are just getting rid of shit that they didn't like doing.
Hang on. Could you ever do that?
Yeah, you could put your dog
Yeah.
in a crate, and it had to be very specific. It had to be like certain weather conditions because it can get very hot or very cold underneath that plane.
I'd never heard of anybody doing that.
Mitt Romney
Yeah,
did it with a
well-
car. Remember that?
No.
The controversy.
I mean, the only reason
when
I
when
was
Obama was running against Mitt Romney back in 2012, they did like all the opposition research on each other. And one thing that they found with Mitt Romney was in his book, he talked about how he took his dog and his family on a road trip, and his dog was sick and was having diarrhea. So they put the dog in the crate, they tied it to the roof of the car, and then drove on their road trip with their poor dog in this crate on the roof,
That's insane.
just shitting on itself.
that's
Probably
not
like
that
shit.
bad.
They probably like that shit though. You know how dogs always
They
stick
love
their head
sticking
out the
their head
window?
out the window. Yeah.
It's true. Seems dangerous though.
Worth the
I mean-
risk, you know. You want your dog happy.
The only reason why like taking a dog and checking them underneath during a flight, like if you're looking at some of these prices for like a dog sitter, kennels, like it's now getting more expensive than it was just to fly your dog with you.
Yeah.
So, and they're upping their prices because they don't have to compete with the price of flying a dog anymore.
Yeah. I just love that companies just blame everything on the pandemic.
Mm.
We don't want to do
Speaking
this
of-
anymore.
Speaking of the pandemic, I thought this was fascinating, and I didn't know anything about it. Well, I knew, but I didn't know. Y'all heard of Henrietta Lacks?
Yes.
So for those that haven't, Henrietta Lacks she was a tobacco farmer like in the 50s. Black woman who was the first immortal human cells had the first immortal like cell culture grown from her cells. She was getting treated for cervical cancer, and the doctors like scraped some of her cells off, and they used it to like for research purposes, and ended up creating the first cell culture line for the polio vaccine, and a litany of other things afterwards. So like a whole bunch of other like vaccines and things like that. They use from getting her original cell culture and researching it. And just recently, her family won a settlement because she was never given consent. So it was fucked up that they took it without her consent. But there's that ethical line between should you research with humans or should you not. A lot of good came from it, but understandably, the family was like, yo, you can't do that. It's my living relative helping save billions of lives, but without her consent. It's wild.
That is kind of crazy, but yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like I'm reading up on her right now. It sounds like something she probably would have given consent for.
Probably.
But you have to ask somebody, hey, can we use your cells for treatment and experiments for the next 1,000 years?
Yeah. They just want a settlement, yeah. Yeah, they just want a settlement.
Yeah, like the pharmaceutical companies that end up making vaccines and drugs and use your cells for research and then invent drugs based on your cells. Yeah, she should get a cut of that.
Yeah. Yeah, like a whole bunch of cancer research. It's an interesting story, man.
So she
But,
had a just wild genetic. Was it an abnormality, like something special about her cells?
I'm not a virologist, so I'm not gonna pretend or I have no idea though. No clue. But
Yeah.
yeah, she had cervical cancer. I don't know. There you go.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't know, but it's a wild story. It's wild.
Due to the week for Henrietta Lacks.
There you go. Yeah. Billy did you do it due to the week? He was supposed to.
Save it for Wednesday.
You only want to do a dude of the week when somebody else do a dude of the week. The fuck out
All
of
right,
here.
Billy, you have to do Dude of the Week on Wednesday or else you're suspended indefinitely.
Because the last dude of the week was PFT's dude of the week, right?
It was the first one.
No,
Yeah.
No, there's
That's
been a
what I'm
couple.
saying.
We've had a
Okay.
couple.
Okay.
And now Henrietta Lacks is added to that list.
Okay,
And then
bet.
on Wednesday, we'll get another Dude of the Week.
Got you.
Yes, you have to do Dude of the Week on Wednesday. Yes, that's the entire summit. Yes. No, you.
Billy, you know what you can do,
have
fam?
to-
Yes.
Like, just you got an iPhone, right? Just be like, "Hey Siri." You don't even gotta type it. Just be like, "Hey Siri, create a reminder for me on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. to do Dude of the Week."
Okay, I'm gonna do the week for tomorrow 9 p.m.
See, I was just doing it as an example, and she did it. My Siri is British.
That's exotic. Arian,
They sound smart to me. I don't know.
you sent a very interesting video in the group chat yesterday. So on the flight home, I watched most of that video.
Okay.
I love it. I love where this guy's head's at. I was starting to buy some of it. So on the flight back, Arian texted group chat like, "This is wild," and the video that he sent over was a like 2.5 hour video on how germs and viruses don't really exist.
Yeah.
It was. Let's see. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah. But that's gonna be because it's a whole conspiracy. So that's gonna be the topic next week.
I like it.
Yeah.
This week, yeah.
Yeah, germs and viruses aren't real, and the research this guy put into this video, it's very funny, very
It's
funny.
It's fascinating, man.
Yeah, some of the examples that he uses when he's like, "Well, if somebody told you that there was an M&M on your counter, and then you threw it in the trash can, and would you believe him that the M&M would be able to spontaneously reproduce, and all of a sudden your counters would have hundreds of M&Ms on them? That's what they want you to believe about germs." I was like, yeah, that is what. Yeah, I hear this.
You got a point, man.
Yeah, we can talk more later about it. But some of the stuff
Yeah.
where he was like, "Look at, they say that this is a germ. Nobody really knows. How does a germ get into a cell? We don't know. Are you trying to tell me that this germ can get inside this cell? How?" I was like,
It's a whole thing though. It's a whole.
Yeah.
It's a movement, bro. It's hilarious.
"Yeah, well,
Agreed.
maybe watch the video. Watch the video, Billy." We also have
do your research.
We've got two. So we have a researcher now that works for Macrodosing that Mike, once a week, he'll write up a full report on the topic. If you notice that when we do our episodes on topics, they tend to be more factual based and more well put together. It's because of Mike who's typing up this stuff for us every week. We now have a backlog though of two topics that Mike has researched, and we've got the information. So what do we want to do with those? Because one, we were going to do with Brace, which is going to be the update on Epstein and the new names that came out from the flight logs. And then the other one we were going to do last week, which was, what was the name of that one?
Bubonic
The
plague.
plague.
The plague.
Bubonic plague, yeah.
So maybe we can do the plague and the germ thing this week.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then we'll just keep Epstein in the chamber,
Okay.
which is what the government should have done. Okay, so-
that one took a minute. That's nice.
Thank you. I also want to talk about at some point on the show the free energy conspiracy. You guys
Yeah.
heard about that?
Like the water car.
Yeah, like go back
in
watch that movie Chain Reaction with Keanu Reeves. I think it's Keanu Reeves, right, where he invents a way to turn water into pure energy.
Yeah. They just want to keep us hooked on petroleum.
Yeah. What else do we want to get into? I got one more thing I'd like to get Billy's opinion on,
Mhm.
and Big T's to a certain extent. There's a lot of people in the media now that are saying that there's about to be a trucker blockade of New York City. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, that's not going to work.
It's probably not going to work. It's in like protest of Trump being convicted on tax fraud or whatever, wire fraud, financial fraud. And so Alex Jones and I saw like Benny Johnson was getting after this too. Like, watch out, this guy from Chicago says he's going to start a trucker blockade, or at least like a trucker boycott of New York, to protest the Trump verdict. That just means that there's going to be a bunch of lib truckers that really cash in, like making all the money.
No, the thing is that the lib truckers are the only ones that go into New York, because those larger truckers and the ones that take those contracts, they only deliver stuff to New Jersey and like outside of New York City, where then the equipment is then unloaded into distribution centers and then taken by smaller trucks into the city.
Yeah, because you
There's
can't
no
drive
18
an 18-wheeler
Yeah.
like through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Yeah, or over the GW. I mean, you can over the GW, but you can't get off. So it's stupid. Like now, the distribution centers aren't going to get deliveries.
I would
But-
like to see the truckers at one point. We talked about this with the guest that we had on, who talked about Luddites and the AI movement. The truckers should get together and be like, "Fuck you" to AI truckers. That would be smart.
Well, the thing is, they'll pass legislation that every self-driving vehicle needs to have someone there just in case.
Like a pilot.
Yeah, so they're not going to lose their jobs. If anything, their job is going to get super easy.
That would rock.
But we can touch on the Trump case. It's
Yeah. Do it.
We need to release the text messages between Billy and Arian from Friday, because they were just the two of them for 45 minutes back and forth in the group chat talking about banking laws and fraud and this, that, and it was pretty entertaining.
Look, all
I have
I'm
a
gonna
question
say-
for you guys, because like, listen, I'm not
Who did he defraud?
I'm not going to get all lib on this.
Did you read the? Did you?
Yes,
read,
I
sent
read
it.
the thing. I read
Well,
the
what
thing.
do you mean?
Because
If
Not-
you claim that your net worth is not what it is knowingly, and then don't hand over documents to prove that, that is what fraud is. It's
that
literally the definition.
Arian, when you're doing appraisals on properties,
I don't
Arian,
think
have you
I
ever
understand.
gone for a second opinion on like health stuff when in negotiation of a contract?
Yes.
So have you ever not omitted the first doctor's report because it wasn't as favorable as the second doctor's?
That is nowhere near. the
It
same
is
thing.
exactly
Billy.
the same.
They're not okay. So the dude that I sent you, right? The dude that
Yes,
I forget his
yes.
name. He literally said, if I would have known that they were hiding the documents and not giving them to me, I would have not. It's been a while since I read it, but I wouldn't have said what I said. And so, because he didn't know that they hid those documents, he was like, "Yeah, you can't do that." That's what
So-
fraud is.
if the Texans had found out about your second opinion, which wasn't as favorable as the one you submitted, they might have not given you the contract. But a lot of the appraisals have to do with not numerical data, but categorical data when it comes to value. So when you're looking at an asset, like a real estate asset, you're looking at net operating income compared to the total value of the building. And this is why a lot of loans are based off of. But the thing is, with the loans he had done with, I think it was Deutsche Bank, he fulfilled all the terms of those loans regardless of what he submitted. So if it wasn't considered the value that he went for the loan, then he wouldn't have been able to pay back the loan.
I don't think you
But-
understand what I'm saying, dog.
I understand about not submitting the documents, but
Bender later learned that the Trump organization had withheld records such as appraisals that Mazars had requested while preparing a
so
compilation,
here's my point.
leading Mazars to conclude that the Trump organization had falsely represented that it compiled fully and truthfully with all inquiries. So what they're saying is,
No, but that is a complete crockpot. Like, so
why was
example,
it a problem?
it's a crockpot because
why he gotta
you
pay
go to
$300 million.
multiple appraisers. You go to multiple appraisers. If hey, PFT, have you sold a house before?
I have, yeah.
How many appraisers did you use?
I used one, and it was I got it. I bought it when it was low income housing, and then I had to sell it to somebody else who was low income housing.
Okay, so that's different. You use multiple appraisals in order to get the value, and you want the best value. The thing with a lot of Trump properties is that there is something that's non-numerical value to the property, which is the brand, the Trump brand, which some people value more than others because you buy Nike, but Nike is just the same as the stuff from the sweatshop the door over. You can't quantify your beauty.
They inquired about all appraisals and they withheld the documents. Do you understand that?
It is such a good legal defense, though, to be like, yeah, I know that I said that this building was as valuable as the Burj Khalifa, but what you're not taking into account is that it's a Trump building, so that's really worth infinity dollars.
The Burj Khalifa is comparable to a value of something in the United States because the Burj Khalifa can only be owned by one person, which is the government of that country. It's like saying, like comparing values between, a building in, a small town, like a small city versus a building in a big city.
So if I lie about,
it's not lying.
It is literally lying.
It's not. It's
literally lying.
Exactly comparable to you getting multiple opinions on an
That's
injury.
not lying.
It's omitting the other ones. So
they requested they requested, in your analogy, they requested that you admit all of those. They requested.
Right, but the bank, right, testified on his behalf. So the bank's the one who's doing their due diligence. They're saying that a bank that was totally satisfied. By the way, the banks want to give the biggest loans they can. They want to value all your properties as high as they can, especially if you're someone with the credit record of Donald Trump, because he personally backs his loans. So they're going to get their money no matter what. So they don't care.
Has he
because the
declared
guy giving the loan
multiple times?
Yes, bankruptcy is a financial tool. It's very low IQ to be like, oh, he declared bankruptcy. It's a financial tool that people do to restructure companies' personal assets.
I know what Chapter 11 is, Billy, but you can't say like.
Yeah.
But you what I was responding to is saying that like your credit score, your credit score is absolutely 100% negatively affected if you declare bankruptcy.
Right.
So
but
not that low IQ. That's actually literally correct.
I know. But the thing is, he was declaring bankruptcy on companies, not personally. He did in the past do it personally.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, the point I'm trying to make here is that the banks want to give as large of loans. And yes, they were in cahoots in valuing the properties. The thing is that when you value a property larger, like the guys giving the loans were getting cuts of commission. So the bigger, the better for everybody.
Fuck all the jargon.
Who did know? What I really want to say is, who did he defraud?
Right now.
Okay,
you're
Billy.
Who did he defraud?
Okay, so Billy, let me take
Who
you
did
back.
he defraud?
Let me take you back to a little year called 2007, 2008.
Yes.
When banks were giving out massive loans to people that could not afford the loans because they were making a shitload of commissions. They didn't do due diligence. They looked the other way. Did that have any significant financial implications on the entire rest of the world?
Yes, but I would agree with you because the thing that you said,
You
which is very
banned
important,
that.
they could not pay the loans. Donald Trump paid all these loans.
You're not understanding.
So it's like,
Billy's a results guy.
I
not a
am
process
understanding.
guy.
I am understanding. Those were loans that the due diligence was so terrible that they weren't able to pay the terms of the loan. All these loans were paid.
You're banging for a system that is skewed towards rich people. You're banging for this
you know why I'm
system.
banging for this system?
You're banging
because
for that.
that this system of capital allocation not only pays contractors, creates jobs, develops
Trickle down,
communities,
trickle
but
down
not just in the
economics.
Trump sense. This process allows for communities to be revitalized, for Section 8 housing to be built, for housing, affordable housing for non-government subsidized housing, but affordable housing for single family homes to be built. This process is, the more money that gets injected in taken with these loans, the better, the more jobs are, the more contracts are given. I mean,
So you're saying insurance fraud should be legal.
Okay. I'm not saying that. Insurance fraud is totally different than a bank giving out as big of a loan as they can because they want to maximize the money flowing out on their books, because if the money's in the bank, it's not growing. They want the money out of the bank so it can grow, so they can get payments on it. And Donald Trump paid all the terms of these loans. The only reason why I'm banging so hard for this, and say whatever you want about Trump, his sneaker thing is stupid.
No, wrong. We're gonna get to that.
I kind of want to get
That's
some
wrong.
Trump sneakers.
Oh my
Okay,
God, them shits ass.
they're stupid, but like I would buy them, and it'd be funny.
Y'all gonna resell them on StockX?
I would just like rock them around my like boys as a joke.
It
But
would
no,
not be
no,
a joke.
But I'm just saying it's complete. The reason why I'm saying it's complete kangaroo court. It's like there's no fraud. No one was defrauded. If anything, he paid more taxes to the government because he showed his assets being valued a certain amount. And also, it almost proved that since he was able to pay those loans, that the amount of money that they were appraised for is actually true, because net operating incomes is how you determine the overall value of a property. So if his net operating incomes were able to pay back the loans that were based off of the value of the asset, then the asset's value is that. And yeah, the Trump name is a categorical
Billy,
branding.
if you
People are going to
represent-
rate
Billy,
it like
if you falsely misrepresent your income or the value of something, if you knowingly falsely misrepresent that is illegal. I don't
right,
give
but
a
if an
fuck about,
appraiser writes off on the actual amount that it's worth.
bro. I'm just telling you, this is why he got to pay $350 million. It's illegal. And if everybody does, and this is why Republicans are fascinating to me. Republicans are fascinating because the majority of Republicans are blue collar workers, right? But they continue to vote for people that have no interest in making blue collar workers having better working conditions, insurance, health insurance, none of that. All Republicans give legislation for is big business to loosen regulations. It's
Look,
fascinating.
all
to
I'm
me.
saying, on that, I'm going to push back on you on this system that you like say is so fraudulent. That system's what's creating the jobs for the blue collar workers, for the subcontractors.
This is trickle down economics. This is their argument. This is their argument. Their argument is
Right.
if you loosen regulations, we have more money,
No.
more capital freed up so that we can give jobs. That is their argument, which
If it
has
wasn't
been
for
proven
this
to be
type of-
wrong over decades.
Well, the
the
thing is,
argument I had with John Taffer.
this isn't trickle down economics. This money isn't taxes. This money is coming from a bank in order to create capital and grow the bank's money. That then is done to, in the case of buildings, they're adding value through employing workers to add value to their asset. And that is but money coming from the bank to, let's say add amenities to a building or build a new building in the parking lot. It's totally creates jobs and allows these blue collar workers to get more work. It allows
All right, let's
carpenters to update carpentry.
let's say I
It allows
believe you. Let's say I
plumbers to
believe you.
update plumbing.
Let's say I grant you all that. Have you ever heard in any instance in the last 4 to 6 years or almost 8 years of Trump religiously stiffing workers for jobs that they've done at his properties? Have you ever heard of that?
In the past 4 to 6 years
At all?
of
Have you
him
ever-
stiffing workers,
Oh, yeah.
is there examples? Because the thing is,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
the construction game is different.
Why is that?
The construction game is the construction game. Guys are claiming they're getting stiffed, but guys may have not completed work. That's
Gotcha.
a whole different ball
Gotcha.
game.
All right.
There are
That's
like dozens.
like-
The bottom, to me, the bottom line is like I think you'd have to be willfully ignorant to think that Trump, like we're talking about Donald Trump here, wouldn't intentionally overstate how much his things were worth, right? Like
The
we
thing
can
is,
agree on
you-
that. Like he's the GOAT at doing that. He is.
No, Billy's just saying, yeah, you're supposed to, and that's what
Yeah.
creates jobs.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not saying
I-
that's the bank. If the bank does their due diligence, then and okays it, then you've passed. And that's a bank like stipulation. This is the government getting involved in two private entities business agreement. That's where it gets tricky. That's like, this is like the government getting involved in a divorce proceeding after it's already been done and saying that stipulations weren't met, thus this person should be penalized.
They do
This
that
has a
all
much
the time.
right, but this has a much grander impact on how, like, I guarantee it, lots of, because of this ruling, lots of banks, lots of companies will be leaving New York because it opens them up to all sorts of, by the way, most of the properties weren't even in New York State. So the New York State went after entities about properties that they had no taxable income or any sort of like involvement in.
Right. I guess
So what's your-
jurisdiction comes down to like where the loan was executed, not where the properties are located, I believe. But
Right.
So what's your definition of fraud? Like what would be fraudulent business endeavors to you then? Like what's fraudulent?
I mean, fraud is when there is a victim. Fraud is when someone's defrauded.
So like
I mean, me putting out basketball highlights, is that fraud?
yeah, you're intentionally omitting the bad ones. Yeah.
yeah, it'd be fraudulent, yeah.
So highlights are fraud.
In some cases, yeah.
So yeah,
So-
Trump was doing highlights of his real estate ownership
Yes.
and omitting the
No,
lowlights.
I mean, but the thing is, like, if you're getting appraised, like, there's appraisers who are going to give you bad appraisals, and for many different reasons, like, oh, like, they're haven't been giving us enough business as appraisers, so we're going to stiff them. Like, not everyone is so innocent in that, like, everything's high and dandy. Like, you can get screwed by appraisers, and the ones, like,
Nobody's saying
these things happen.
but nobody says, hey, it's wrong to get 2 appraisals. That they wouldn't be in court for that. They're in court because he
No, they
withheld
are. That's what
documentation.
exactly is
not-
going on.
No, it's not. You didn't read the you didn't
I
read it.
did read the thing. They admitted some of their
They
bad appraisals.
Omitted. Yes, that's
Omitted.
That's what they're saying. That is fraudulent, Billy. You can't do that.
That is
I
is
think
literally
it's
fraudulent.
also pretty likely that if you're a real estate developer like Trump, you've got some pretty good relationships with certain appraisers, and
They
they know how
appreciate-
you do business. You know how they do business. You know they're going to give you a nice appraisal and what you're looking for. You have those relationships built in, and so I'm sure there was some of that going on. Now the appraiser has to cover their ass and make sure that everything that they filed, they can then blame Trump for like omitting stuff. I'm sure that relationship definitely happens. I also think, to Billy's point about it being a kangaroo court, it sounds like by the letter of the law, it was the correct decision if we're just going by the law. But I will agree that I don't think that there's a chance in hell that this happens if Trump wasn't president.
That
Oh.
I agree with that 1,000%.
You fly too close to the
1,000%.
sun sometimes, you get under the microscope a lot. Like Bill Clinton got raked over the coals because he was getting a blowjob from his intern. Probably wouldn't have been a national storyline if he didn't do that while he was president. But
1,000%.
if you're president, they look at a lot of shit.
And
Well, you know what's
that's my
crazy
problem
is
with
that-
like Trump. People that defend Trump, right? It's not because I don't really have like I disagree with him on policy, right? I disagree with how he conducts himself. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't have a person. I don't care about it like that. I honestly don't, because his policies help me. His policies obviously help me. But I think what bothers me about Trump supporters is like they don't like he's untouchable. Like they look at him like at this figure that does no wrong, and it's like he does do wrong. Like just admit that he does wrong shit. I don't whether I agree with what they're doing to him or not. It is by the letter of the law. It's wrong. It's like people always like, well, what about Joe Biden? Fuck him. If he's doing some wrong shit, fucking prosecute him. I don't care. Our public officials should absolutely be held to a higher standard than regular citizens. Absolutely.
Which is
Or
why
at
I will
least the
never
same-
run for president, because I don't want to be held to that standard.
Since I like doing my dirt
Yeah.
on the ground.
I
There's so many business people all over the world, dog, that are involved in this shit all the time. It happens all the time. I've seen some fraudulent, I've seen some shady shit, right? But they're not running for president. Like you gotta be an example. And if your example is this is how business is done, which is it sounds like you're kind of banging
That's-
for Billy, was like
that's-
this is how business is done. That's the problem. And when you say you're gonna clean out the swamp and you participating in the same shit that the swamp is doing, that's why I'm like, how can you not see that shit?
No, I'm not saying that fraud is how the business should be done. I'm just saying they're calling a very typical practice fraud when it's never been prosecuted before.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And that's where it's sort of like this is like totally
So by
lack of a better term, trumped up charges.
so so by that logic, we should never prosecute something that has never been done before.
No, you can totally tell why it's being done, and it's unbecoming of America that we're going after politicians who are like going after like people who are opposition leaders in our country, just like they
are
just killed an
falling for
opposition
his-
leader.
You feel like you're falling for his rhetoric, which is wild.
I'm not like
You're
the
falling
only
for his
reason,
rhetoric.
like if I didn't actually, like for example, little background, I worked in a real estate brokerage at one point and like underwrote loans like as a junior analyst. I didn't do it myself, but I was like working on some of them. And much like it's like I kind of feel like when ivermectin was being called horse pills and I was just prescribed ivermectin 3 months before for scabies. So it's one of those things, because I'm understanding it, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But anyway,
It is illegal. Like whether you agree with it being illegal or not, it's not legal.
I also think that the judge imposed more strict penalties and harsher penalties because Trump was like tweeting about or truthing or whatever it is about the judge and about like the judge's staff, and like judges don't like it when you do that shit. So it became personal for the judge.
It always will be. He said put a gag order. He's still talking.
Yeah, if you put a gag order and the defendant defies the gag order and it comes down to the penalty part, any judge in America is going to be like, okay, well, I don't like you, so it's going to be more.
Well, also the penalty financially, it was based off of the loans he took, and the 3-year ban isn't that big of a deal. But the thing is, Trump may have not done any of this paperwork.
That's that. They literally said that in the brief I sent you. He oversaw it, and it was understood that he okayed all the paperwork. That was literally
He
the thing I sent
signed
you.
everything, but he might
No,
have not.
brother.
There
That's
is
literally in the-
plausible.
They literally addressed that in the
I know.
paperwork I sent you.
But let's be real. Do you think Donald Trump is grabbing the appraisals himself and not sending the documents?
That you're liable for anything that you okay.
Right. But it's just crazy. It's crazy because the lender who he supposedly defrauded testified on his behalf and said, hey, we had no problem with what happened. They got one employee that they might have on other charges to say,
Beating a dead
well,
horse.
if I had seen the other
Beating a dead horse.
appraisals, I know I'm being a dead horse, but if we had seen other appraisals, I might have made a different decision.
I think this is it. You are stuck on, hey, this is how big business is done. He did nothing wrong. And I'm not worried about that. I don't give a fuck about that part, right? I think capitalism by its core is corrupt, and it's always going to do that, right? There's a snake eating itself. That's what I believe, right? And you're saying that shit always happens. I agree with you. I'm saying the dangerous precedent by the rhetoric that he's saying they're coming after me because I was a president and I'm a Republican president. That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
I mean, you kind of been saying because of Donald Trump's actions, a lot of them political, is why they're going after him.
I don't know how.
So
else
it's
to
politically
convey this.
motivated.
Yeah, I don't know how else to convey that. I don't know how else to convey that.
Also, he should have asked for a jury trial. His lawyers fucked that up. Remember, like putting it in the hands of one judge was a big mistake. If you have a jury trial, I don't care if it's in New York City. Both sides get to go through the jury pool and eliminate some people. You're going to end up with some supporters of Donald Trump on that jury, no matter what.
I was wrong. We do not need to release y'all's text messages because y'all did it way better.
In real life. I thought that this was going to be the weakest case that they were going to have against him. I expected him to be able to get away with this one. I thought that the E. Jean Carroll trial he was going to lose that, and the Atlanta trial, the Georgia trial, excuse me. I think he's going to lose that too. But I thought that he was going to win this one. So I was surprised that he lost it.
That was
the precedent.
Like it was low-key his fault because they forgot to put a jury trial. It wasn't just a box that they supposed to check.
Yeah, I've heard. So they could have requested jury trial, which would have been way smarter. But I think the way that it would be handled by the judges, the judge would then get to decide whether or not it would be a jury trial or a bench trial. And the speculation is this judge would have said, we're going to do this as a bench trial. But you would have had the opportunity to request it, which they didn't do.
Isn't that your constitutional right? to have a jury trial?
So in a civil case, I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer, so
Right.
I don't know how that works. I have not studied for the bar exam yet.
I think you are, but I could be wrong.
So yeah. But in lighter news, how about those fucking Trump shoes? The Trump
They're
Force
so
Ones.
sick. They're so sick.
How much are they going for?
There's no way I like that
I
shit.
saw
There's no way I
some
like
like 3,500. on
Fuck
eBay.
yeah, that's a steal. That's an investment.
They were only $400 if you bought them, retail, which is a pretty solid deal.
So
There's
he
no
got
way I for real like that shit.
he got booed at the sneaker con.
I didn't see that.
There's one target audience you don't want to upset, and that's the real like sneaker freaks out there. They hate everything. They hate absolutely everything. So
Except for the old school Jones, they love their old shit.
yeah, they were gonna boo this no matter what because they boo everything. He should have done a retro. He should have done like a 1980 Trump shoe.
These are bad though. Come on.
Are they made in America?
Be for real. Be for real for a second. Obviously, it's funny that Trump made a shoe, and we're looking at this through the context of it being ridiculous and funny.
hilarious?
They're kind of fire.
No, they're not.
A little bit.
What fit you gonna wear this with, dog?
Fucking okay. Obviously, nice pair of blue jeans. You get your Keep America Great quarter zip and your MAGA hat.
Dude,
And the shoes pull it all together.
These would be fire on the golf course. You're gonna be seeing these at country clubs across America this summer for sure.
Dude, Trump's got some sick merch. If you ever been to the Trump Hotel in Vegas, there's some pretty fire pieces that you can't wear anywhere else.
These would be fire on a boxer, dog.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I'll give you that. You put these on like one of the mega boxers, I'll be like, okay, that's kind of, you put some gold gloves on that shit, that would be.
Who's
right,
the UFC guy that loves Trump?
Strickland.
Covington.
Oh yeah. My bad.
But they don't wear shoes, do they?
Casual.
They're barefoot, ain't they?
You can
Yeah.
cut out to the ring in them, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they were boxing shoes, that would be pretty cool. Who had gold shoes? This kind of gives off Apollo Creed vibes. Not
RIP.
like this
RIP, man. I forgot about that. He died.
But in the original movies, he used to come out in the America gear, right? And I think he was wearing like
think so.
America gold shoes.
No, where they go? What did he come out with these shoes for? Why did Trump drop a shoe, bro?
Because he needs to make money because he just got hit with like his whole liquid fortune being taken away.
But they only sold like a couple hundred pairs for $400, so he didn't make any money on it.
So he didn't make these shoes, just like everything else he does. It's licensed, so they get his name and they put his name on it, but he's not involved in like the manufacturing. They're not saying where they're being manufactured. I'll give you one guess.
Taiwan.
Detroit.
Right here in the USA, probably.
Oh.
I was Googling to try to find out where they were.
They're not saying where they're being manufactured. I would imagine that they're probably manufactured in China. Like every shoe's made in China right now.
What is that about? Does anybody know anything about like merchandise? Why are all clothes made in China? What is the deal?
Because they can exploit labor.
Yeah, it's cheap labor.
It's so that's
We're
why
against
this.
that here, huh, America?
Yeah, well, we aren't because we basically allow it to happen with illegal immigrants. That's how we exploit labor in the United States. We exploit illegal immigrants because they have no representation in the country. And that is why people want to keep the border open, so we can exploit labor. Big part of it. But the interesting fact, you know why Italy got hit with COVID second after China?
Why?
Because bi-weekly workers from China get flown to northern Italy to work in all those designer plants and make shoes and make handbags and then fly back to China bi-weekly, so to keep the costs low on labor in these Italian designer companies. So it's, Gucci made in Italy by Chinese workers.
Mm-hmm.
It's so they brought the virus over with them and decimated Italy in the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Low-key, I was there. It was a horror movie.
Yeah. No, what you just said is that's facts.
But it's insane like how that works. Also, they're skilled in garment manufacturing.
Yeah. There are a
Is-
ton of
Is there anything about like
sweatshops still
materials?
over there.
Like, 'cause I always hear about like you can't get the materials over here. Like what?
That's true.
What material are they talking about?
They're sourcing Italian leather. Um,
Like, what's so good about Italian leather? Is leather just not cows? Like, am I? I don't. I'm genuinely asking. I don't know anything. About
yeah. So I'm guessing that some of the like, I mean, I guess the leather isn't that special anymore. It's all just the name, which, if you talk to some people, it gets appraised at higher values than other people. So does the Gucci name
There
really
you
mean
go.
that much if all the materials are exactly the same quality?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know enough about that shit. I know. Isn't Toyota like the Camrys the same thing as like the Lexus cars? Isn't it, that they're made by the same company, ain't they? Like shit. I could be wrong about
Toyota,
that.
Lexus, very similar. So the car I have, which is it's a Chevy, it's made on the same line, like with the same frame as Cadillac. So a lot of these companies share different.
No,
What?
but that's GM owns both of them, right?
I don't know who owns Cadillac, but I know that they use like the same frame. So different cars share a lot of different parts, and then the like luxury stuff gets added up, and that's how you get a more costly vehicle.
Yeah, General Motors owns Cadillac and Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. It's like I think Honda owns Acura, right?
Yeah.
So Toyota
And like
I'm
Ford
guessing-
owns Lincoln.
I'm guessing Toyota owns Lexus.
I could
Crazy.
have one of those things I heard when I was a kid that I never actually looked up.
Also, beers are cool like that.
Yeah, beers are owned by, like, when we went on a tour to the Coors Brewery, they brew like all this different shit, like hundreds of different lines.
Turns out Camus has like a Keystone Light version of Camus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like called 1898.
I love that.
So you can get like your cheap beer version of Camus, and it's pretty good.
Love it. What else do we want to talk about today? You teed off about anything, Big T?
Not teed off, but I have a teed up.
All right, let's go. Some positivity.
I have followed Brandon's lead, and I am addicted to mantiquing now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's
I was
men
coming
thinking?
back. I was coming back from a road trip yesterday, going through middle of nowhere, Illinois, and stopped at an antique mall. Bought several good pieces. Cal Ripken Jr. starting lineup, 1996 All-Star Game figure at
Love
Veterans
that.
Stadium. I got a Braves pennant. Looks like it's from like maybe 90, 91. Someone had made a scrapbook of every newspaper clipping leading up to and after Hank Aaron hit his 715th home run. $5.
That's a steal.
It's incredible. It's awesome. What else I get? Bought an Ozzie Smith baseball. It's got him doing the backflip on it. Has all his like career stats. I bought all sorts of stuff. Then today I did some light mantiquing on eBay. Just for stuff I know that I want, but then I'm going to continue going mantiquing to get, finds in the wild.
Okay.
So this is going to be an issue financially and time-wise.
I like that you go to an antique store and you just buy all the sports shit.
Oh, well, I'm not buying. Now, I did see...
Nice lamp?
I did see a picture, and I was like, if that's less than $200, I'm buying it. It was an old Dr. Pepper ad. It was incredible. $900 at this antique mall. I was like, that's a bit out of the price range for now, but there's some really cool stuff. But yeah, sports is what I'm interested in. That's the stuff I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So
That sounds like fun. I could see that being a good time.
this weekend I'm going up to near Brandon's house. I don't know if he's meeting me there, but the one that he goes to.
Did he get sports stuff too?
Oh yeah, that's all he does.
Yeah.
And then apparently, west of here, I want to say he said it was Sandwich, Illinois. I believe I'm correct in that. Is like the antique capital of the world, and he has not been there yet. So I think we're gonna go do that at some point soon.
Sounds great.
Go visit Sandwich.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Mantiquing, nice.
Come home with some nice finds.
Oh yeah.
Some for the man cave.
I can't wait for Saturday.
Nice. Yeah. Good times. Anything else? Anybody beat up, beat off, ate up, ate off?
I'm beat off. Russia killed its opposition leader.
Yeah,
It's
Navalny.
fucked up. Yeah.
Well, he died in prison. We don't know what happened.
Well, we know what happened. Putin killed him. It's
You think
fucked.
so? You think that's Pooty Poot?
Yeah, it's like you gotta remember what we're dealing with.
By the way, the other nickname that George W. Bush had for Putin besides Pooty Poot was ostrich legs.
That's good stuff.
Great nickname.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm more pissed off because Tucker Carlson tried to do a reverse Yeltsin and like what the dude. He went to a Russian supermarket and was like, "Oh my god, Russian supermarkets are so awesome," which is, and I'm just like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude?"
I love that.
Like, you're an idiot. Like Yeltsin, if you don't remember, he was a Soviet leader who came over to the United States, and there's a famous picture of him being like so awestruck by American supermarkets and the variety of everything, and like we have several different brands for stuff.
yeah.
And he like talked about it, and like that's what toppled the wall. But anyway, like Tucker was running around Moscow, which is famously, takes all the resources of Russia and just singing their praises. And at one point he talked about how revolutionary it was to have shopping carts that require a coin in them to use them to make sure people return them,
Mhm.
which is something we have in the United States. And he
Wait,
was talking
no,
about how
he did.
awesome.
Did he really?
Yes, look it up. And then
been
he's
here
also
for
talking
40
about
years.
how awesome. Yeah, he's talking about how awesome the Moscow subway station is, and I'm like, dude, Moscow is so like looks so great because they literally suck all the resources from every other part of the country. Let me ask you this, guys. I can name probably like 4 Russian cities, and most people probably can only name 2, and that's because the rest of Russia is like a dystopian shithole because of how Putin's been running it. So, like, Tucker, how about you go to one of the third-rate cities and see how nice it is compared to like America? I can't believe he literally was just actually spouting Russian propaganda, and like that's not American, dude. Like, you
That is
literally
pretty-
misrepresented.
That is pretty shocking that Tucker Carlson was disingenuous. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, but it was like,
Throws me for a loop.
I have heard from a bunch of people that have been over to Moscow that have said that's a very nice city to visit. Like I believe that 100%. It's very funny though that I remember like 2 years ago that was a thing. We were saying that like Americans can't get food in supermarkets anymore, and people would go to supermarkets and like find an empty shelf and take pictures, be like, "Look, there's no food in our stores." I think he's like running off that, being like, "Yeah, Russian supermarkets way better." I challenge Tucker to go to a Publix and try to
Yeah.
pull a stunt like that there because Publix is so goddamn good. They probably don't have
honestly,
that in Moscow.
I might just like hype up American supermarkets again, like Yeltsin did, just to like combat this, because he was also talking about how cheap the food is compared to America, and like, oh, I got $400 worth of American food for $100 or in Russia. Dude, the purchasing price like comparison of that amount of money to the average Russian, it was something like a fourth of a monthly salary was all the food that he bought, or I think it was even higher. So like not sustainable at all for the average Russian to buy that much food.
I challenge anybody to go to Wegmans and not be just blown away by the selection of everything they have there. Go to the Wegmans up in Milwaukee, the one that has the frozen pizza aisle. That's really like 4 aisles.
Now, hang on. What's this? I'm very intrigued.
You got to find this video, Big T. You're gonna love it. I actually might make a road trip up to Wisconsin just to go to the supermarket. I'm talking thousands of frozen pizzas, probably 50 different brands of frozen pizzas in this section. It will blow your mind when you watch that. They don't have that shit in Russia. I promise you that. That's something that we don't have that anywhere else besides Wisconsin in America. Like the
Do you
amount
know
of
how much
pizza.
cheese is
Yeah.
in the Midwest?
Yeah, there's so
Dude.
much cheese. We got
Dude.
cheese caves. We got so much
Cheese is like,
that we're
dude.
burying it underground in government-controlled caves.
Bro, I was going hard on the cheese yesterday. If you can't tell by my background, I'm in the Midwest, in cheese country.
Mhm.
And I was sitting in 15-degree weather, just chowing on cheese outside. and the best cheese in the world is here.
That's America,
We took
baby.
cheese.
Well, France
We
has
took
some pretty good
cheese.
cheese too.
Yeah, you can't
Italy,
do
good
cheese like us anywhere else in the world.
I'll say this: American cheese is a very underrated cheese. I know people are like, "Oh, it's cheap. It's chemically." I don't give a fuck. American cheese is elite. Give me those
Freaking-
single, individually wrapped slices, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know enough about cheese, but I like cheese. But I have a philosophical question for y'all. I've
Mhm.
been meaning to ask y'all. I saw this when my homegirls told me she thinks she saw it somewhere. I don't know. Here it goes. Look at me, PFT. God damn it. All right. If Pinocchio says my nose is about to grow, what happens?
Oh fuck! I think he gets a boner.
Well,
My nose is about to grow, so if he's telling the truth about his nose growing, then his nose wouldn't grow.
I
But if
think
he's
this is a
lying-
very
but that would
easy
mean he'd be
question.
lying.
I think it grows.
I think so too, because the only information we have is that his nose grows when he lies. It doesn't specify that it necessarily does not when he tells the truth. So in order for it to remain the case that it grows every time he lies, it would have to grow when he says it's going to. Otherwise, that would be a lie when it didn't grow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the philosophical thing, though. It's just if it grows, that means he was telling the truth.
No, but
So
he's
it-
saying, follow me here. He says, my nose is about to grow, which is a lie because he's telling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
That's
You
tough,
lost
man.
me here.
He's saying, my nose is about to grow. There's no reason for that to be a lie. Right? So he's telling the truth about his nose growing. Fuck, now I'm all fucked up.
Yeah, because then it grows.
I think it grows. When does his nose shrink? Does he have to tell truth and then it shrinks down?
I don't know.
Like if he went on a hot streak of telling like 6 lies in a row and that thing shot out, would he have to would he have to correct all of his statements for it to shrink back?
I don't know. Let me see. Nose shrink.
I don't think we know the canon enough to determine the right answer to this question.
Okay, so he says, my nose is about to grow. But that's a lie because he knows that he...
Okay, it says
Has-
it shrinks back down after he tells the truth.
Okay, so he says, my nose is about to grow. That's a lie because he knows that his nose will grow. I have no idea.
Wait, so maybe it just goes there and back. It grows because he's lying, and then he tells the truth, so it goes back. His lie turns into a truth, thus it grows and goes back. I think that's the answer.
It shoots back out and then back in.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, look up Thomas Wedder, Wedder, and take a look at that schnoz.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
Wedder.
Whoa, is that real?
Yeah, that's real. He was a freak show, and he used it for exactly what you think he was.
Eating the most delicious ants without bending over. Cocaine.
Yes.
Imagine if that guy walked into your party and you had some coke out. You're like, oh, fuck.
That guy makes me look like Voldemort.
Billy's ears turn red when he lies.
Actually, that, blushing.
Yeah, you blush
Yeah.
big time.
But that's like when I tell a funny lie that I know everyone knows the lie.
Oh, one of those funny ones, yeah.
A playful lie.
Last thing I have on my list. Actually, no, I think I hit it. They're looking for Martians. They're looking for people to go to Mars.
I'm
Let's
out.
go.
It's been good, y'all. It's been good. Appreciate y'all. Building this kinship for all these over these years, man. But I'm out.
You want
You have
be
to
on that
live in a
first ship?
I'm out.
You have to live on a 1,700 square foot Mars simulator for a year.
Love that. I'm out.
Then you can do it.
Who's this with? Is this NASA, SpaceX?
NASA. 1,700 square feet. That's about the size of a
I've never been good at square footage. I don't. When people say how much, it just I don't have any reference.
Now, square foot refers to the floor plan, not
Stories? It could
cube
be-
feet.
Okay. So 1,700 square feet would be like a decent sized single level home,
Yeah.
like mid sized single level home.
So how I remember it is a football field is 57,000 square feet. So
That'd be
about
like an end zone.
I think half an end zone.
So 10
Wait,
yards.
50
10 yards is 30 feet. And how wide is the field?
Yeah. It's 53 yards, so it's about 150 feet. So I think it's like
yeah, it's about the size of an end zone.
Oh,
Right?
10,
It's pretty big.
10 times 150. Yeah, yeah. A little bigger, actually.
Arian, you would actually go?
If I didn't have kids, I would. Like dead ass. If I didn't have kids, I absolutely would. But they deserve me, you know.
Let's
No
see. It's
bigger
looking
level.
for 4 people. On Friday, NASA put out a rare call for applicants to spend 1 year in a simulated Mars habitat.
That's
so this
crazy.
is
Just
thi-
random. They got to vet them motherfuckers, though.
this is in the Mars simulation they're looking to fill. They're not actually looking to send you to Mars just yet. This is the experiment to see if they can do it.
Damn, that would be crazy, dog.
I assume they're going to pay.
Did you see the build outs for him? It's kind of lit.
Nah, send it.
It's in the article I sent, but kind of looks really nice. Way better than some stuff in New York and like a college dorm.
Yeah, it's like more than twice the size of my last apartment in New York.
It's in your emails. I'm sending it again.
Oh, okay. Well, I already had that. I thought it was.
Yeah.
They got to pay. You got to pay me for that. Do you get TV?
Hey, yeah, you get TV.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, there's a Settlers of Catan board in here and Monopoly. The thing is, these are very
you talking about the board game?
similar. Yeah.
Catan is fun as hell, bro.
I've never played. I heard it's awesome though.
It's dope. You like it.
Maybe we have to do board game night one time. Also, be on the lookout. I think we've got the science fair video dropping when? Wednesday.
It's very funny.
Wednesday evening science fair video.
Mhm.
We got a bunch of people in the Chicago office involved in it. We got Nick making his return. We got Mincy. We got part of my take board. We've got Chaps. He did one.
Literally everyone in the Chicago office.
Everyone, the Chicago guys, White Sox Dave, Eddie did one, Chief,
Che.
it's electric. So very excited for that to come out. Arian and I judged it 2nd year in a row. So that's gonna be a fun video coming out on Wednesday. And then we've got the Storm the Capitol, the board game that we play with Brace. That's
Oh,
gonna
I
come out in a
forgot
little
about that.
bit.
That
Yeah.
was fun as shit.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff like that coming out.
Very excited
So-
about it.
Also, check out Wonton Don. Donnie and I's pyramid video came out, and I thought it was gonna be the lamest video of the series, and it was actually insane. So
Yeah, Billy
tune in.
cried. Billy cried at the sight of the pyramids.
The pyramids
Yeah.
are moving. Honestly, I don't think I was able to like the pyramids make you cry because it's when you think about like holy shit, humans did this.
Mm-hmm.
No way. Then you're like, humans did do this. Humans can do anything. You can do anything.
Was that
Wow.
inspirational for your trip?
Yeah. Like you can beat Kenya.
We built pyramids, guys. We can do anything. We can score a touchdown.
Whoops.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Looking forward to that one. We're going to do the bubonic plague and also the germs and viruses don't exist theory. That's going to be a good one. I'm excited to dive into that video and dive into some of this research. But we will see you guys on Thursday. Love you guys.